Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a graphic novel review of Andre the Giant Life and Legend by Box Brown. Now, I first stumbled onto this book because of IGN. They were doing their best of 2014, and this won Best Original Graphic Novel. And, I was a big wrestling fan back in the day. I was part of that Attitude Era, watching the Monday Night Wars, basically. And Andre the Giant was one of those wrestlers that, you heard from other old wrestlers and you kind of knew about their stories. I didn't really seek out any, matches I wanted to watch. I just kind of knew that he was a instrumental figure in the business because of how, wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and people like Vince McMahon were talking about him. And I did see some, like, they always had those top 10 WrestleMania moments. And one of the top moments was definitely when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. And so I was really intrigued by this, just to see a graphic novel about a wrestler, which is pretty cool. And I really, really liked it. It was one of those things where I was, I finished this in one sitting. It's a really quick read. Um, you know, Box Brown, the writer, he takes different stories from different wrestlers, that were in books and stuff, and different interviews that wrestlers had talking about Andre. He talked to Dave Meltzer, which is a big guy in wrestling regarding like news and stuff like that. Interviews with him, and just kind of shaping all that and creating this book. It kind of just documents Andre's life in different. It doesn't really go through the whole thing, but it goes through the important moments. Some of the stories that the wrestlers talk about. The background stuff and some of that wrestling. Some of that stuff, the background stuff, the behind the scenes stuff is the stuff that I really, really like to know about. And you get a lot in this. You get stories about Andre. He's a huge drinker, and there are stories where he finished like 7 or 8 bottles and still wasn't drunk, and his tab would like skyrocket. Um, you know, uh, so the stories jump from he started in Japan, I think, and then it slowly moved to when he was wrestling in the Americas, and then the last chapter dealt with him and Hulk Hogan, I think at WrestleMania 3. So, you get the whole spectrum of Andre the Giant, the best moments from wrestlers' perspectives of who he was and, how instrumental he was for the business. He was all about wrestling. He was all about his craft. He really didn't take crap from anybody. If somebody was late, he would chew them out. Basically, just you know, he would think of that as disrespecting the business or whatever. So you get a lot of background about Andre and his life and the condition he faced. Like he had agromegaly, I think, where he just keeps growing, and his joints and his heart they can't keep up with it. So you get a little bit of that. You get a little bit of Andre beyond the mat. You get some of his stories, some little parts about where how he grew up, and I think he lived in like North Carolina or something like that. Lived on a farm and stuff. But it's the wrestling things, the wrestling parts. That's the majority, and there's some really funny stories. They really just carry the book. The art is, the art is kind of simple, straight to the point stuff. Nothing really too crazy. It's very simple. Um, but just being a wrestling fan, you kind of just eat this up and just want to, know more about this wrestler, a legend. So yeah, if you guys are wrestling fans, I think this would be an awesome book to check out. If you're a fan of Andre, this definitely does it justice. You can actually go back to some of the stuff that Box Brown used and find it on YouTube. Like in this book, he kind of details the Letterman interview, and you can actually find that on YouTube, and it's kind of verbatim, basically. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Definitely go check this out if you're a wrestling fan. If you're interested at all in Andre the Giant, I think this would be an awesome read. And yeah, so this is my review. Really recommend it. Go check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.